Hey guys, it's Mack here checking in, and I'm not going to do a super long intro because judging by the video, you already know what I'm going to be talking about and why I've been away from YouTube for so long. This is my pregnancy story, and I really just made this video because I know I've been gone for YouTube for a while, and I really wanted to make a video kind of just starting fresh. And what better way to start fresh than to start with my pregnancy story, which is the reason why I have been away from YouTube for so long, for literally what, 9 months. So yeah, so as you can tell by the background, I am in a part of my daughter's nursery, and I just thought what better place to film this video than the place where I spend the most time with her. And so I don't know, let's just get into it. I know the point of this video, I know most people make videos and they're very formal and very like perfect and cookie cutter, and part of me revamping my YouTube and launching my website is to be very real, very upfront, very relatable. I don't want anybody to think that everything is just perfect all the time. I know everybody always wants to put out what's perfect and what looks good, so then everybody in the world thinks that that's how life is. And it's just not how it is. Like, I'm learning. I'm still trying to learn YouTube. I'm still learning how to be a mom, and I'm just taking everything a day at a time. So my point in this video is not only to, tell you guys my pregnancy story, but to be 100% honest and tell you the real of what it really is to be pregnant and to have a kid. And, it's not just cute maternity photos and cute pictures and stuff like that. Like, it's real life, real deal, which is, I'll get into it, but that's a part of what my new journey into my YouTube and my brand is all about. It's about being real, relatable, an everyday girl that's just trying to make it. So, I guess enough rambling. I'm going to just get right into it. And I don't even know where to really start, so just forgive me, but, it may be a little long. I don't have on any makeup. If you're a new mom or you're going to be a mom, or when that day comes, you'll realize that sometimes you don't have time to do certain things. You make the time, but like right now, she's sleeping, so I only have a small time frame to do what I need to do, so putting on makeup wasn't, but this is how I am every day. So if I'm going to talk about being a mom, I'd rather talk to you about it in my natural mommy state, okay? Well, let's start with how I found out. So, I think as a mother, you just know when you're pregnant. I didn't know for a long time, and then after a while, I just started kind of being in denial. So I didn't have a cycle for about 2 months. So in my mind, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna come, it's gonna come. And the problem is that my birth control was making me sick. When you're choosing your birth controls, you have to know what works for your body. Not everything is gonna work for you. So you have to make sure that what you're using is working for your body. You have to make sure that you're taking it properly. The problem was what I was taking wasn't working for me, and I was taking it wrong. You can't miss a pill and then double up on pills, and then it doesn't work like that, because it does mess with your body, because it is your hormones. It is your natural hormones that you're going through. So I was having an issue with that, and in between that stage, things happen, and I was in denial for a long time. I thought it was because I was off my birth control. Birth control changes a lot of things. So I thought because I was off my birth control, and changing birth controls, that was affecting me not having my cycle, things like that. Well, it turns out, surprise, surprise, I was really pregnant. So I remember it was in the end of May, and I had went on a Mother's Day. How ironic. I went on a Mother's Day trip with my mom, my aunt, and my cousin, and I hadn't had a period yet. And when I came back, I think I got sick. I got like a really bad cold. And so, when you have a cold, your whole body just doesn't feel good. You naturally feel queasy. You naturally don't feel good. So then once the cold was gone, I was going to work and I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel good at all. I was queasy. I was really tired and I just didn't feel good. And I was telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, I really don't feel good. And she was just like, you need to go take a test. And I think in my heart, I kind of knew what it was, but I just didn't want to face that at the time. And a lot of, new moms will be in denial because they don't want to face, whoa, like this is happening. So, what happened? I went on my lunch break. I walked down to the Publix that's in my plaza. I got a 3-pack. And when I got home that evening, me and my significant other took the test, and the first 2 came back positive. So, of course, naturally, I'm just standing there like, okay. And we're just looking at each other like, okay. And then, so then after that morning, I took the last one, the 3rd one, just to be sure. All of them were positive. So I was just like, wow, okay. So where do we go from here? I automatically called my doctor. I made an appointment for that following a couple days later. I made the precautions I had to make. And then I went and got a confirmation. Turns out I was 8 weeks pregnant. So, whoa, brain blast. I didn't even know because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it until after I was 6. So, I'm well into my first trimester at this point. And I did not feel good. I didn't feel like myself. I felt tired. I felt nauseous. And that's the part of pregnancy that people don't really talk about, especially on social media and stuff. Like, it's not easy. And honestly, your first trimester is probably one of the toughest trimesters next to your last one. Because at that time, that's when you don't feel good and your body's really changing and it's creating this house for this baby. So I never had morning sickness. I didn't throw up. Not everybody has morning sickness. Not everybody throws up in the morning and all that good stuff. I was lucky enough to not have that or not throw up. I know some people who have horror stories and they throw up literally after everything they eat. They can't keep anything down. So I didn't have that. I just knew I was extremely nauseous and I couldn't eat like a lot. So pickles really helped me out. I remember pickles and ginger ale. Those are 2 things that kind of kept me sane. And I would go down to Honey Baked Ham and I would get like a turkey cold cut sandwich in like Subway. Those helped me. But other than that, I really couldn't eat much. So, and I was working at the time. So I had went on a cruise and I just didn't enjoy the cruise because, I went overseas. So then I had to worry about Zika and always having on bug repellent and all this good stuff. So it just wasn't, I had to really take my time with stuff. I did bleed a little bit in the beginning. And of course that's scary because the idea of knowing that you have a baby and then possibly losing the baby is very scary. So I had a little bit of bleeding, but then it turned out it was okay. It was just normal. So my whole first trimester, basically, I really just worked and I just was so tired and so exhausted and so nauseous, like every day. It was a lot. It was an adjustment, but I knew why it was happening. But it was hard to like go to work and really have energy and be up and be myself. And I think at that point, that's when I didn't feel like myself anymore. So then I went through that, and that was like an everyday struggle. That was an everyday thing. And then my second trimester came around, and people say you get energy during your second trimester. I didn't really have energy. I'm already naturally have low energy. So I never really got the energy kick in any of my trimesters. Like, I was tired the entire time I was pregnant. I was very exhausted, very tired. So I didn't really get that luxury. I know some people did. I didn't. So yeah, so I kept it a secret for a while. I didn't really tell the public until I was like 7 or 8 months. I just didn't feel like it was anybody's business, I guess. And I guess I was still trying to digest this change in my life that was going on. And it wouldn't have helped having the opinions of everybody else coming in at that time, you know? So I just kind of kept it a secret. Nobody was really like angry or upset. My mother was very supportive of me from the day I found out to now. She's been very supportive of me. So I didn't have to worry about, you know, what is my mom going to say? I mean, I did worry about that, of course, because, you know, I'm only 25. And so I didn't want her to be like upset that, you know, that happened or whatever. But it was such a relief that that's something that I didn't have to worry about. You know, I didn't have that stress. I always had a solid support system between my mom and my significant other and my friends. Like, I really had a team of people that really just was just like, we're in this. We got you. It's all good. So I really appreciated that. I hope they know I appreciate you, because that was like a lot for me. And I'd be lying if I sat here and said there wasn't any bumps in the road. There was a lot of bumps in the road, especially with like acceptance and stuff like that. Like, it wasn't this beautiful journey that everybody puts out there. Like, it was kind of tough. It was an adjustment, and it's still an adjustment. You know, I'm a new mom, so I'm just trying to figure it out day by day. Second trimester really wasn't anything special. When I heard her heartbeat at first, I was like, wow, you know, like, that's a human inside of me. And it was just amazing. And at that point, I knew that I had to get her to the finish line safely. I just wanted to get her here and out safely. So I became more cautious about certain things that I ate and things in that nature. But I did still eat bad. Everybody asked me if I had weird cravings. The weirdest thing I ate probably was pickles and ginger ale. But other than that, I craved Philly cheesesteaks and boneless buffalo wings all the time. I didn't really have any like weird cravings or anything like that. So that wasn't a problem. Baby shower was a winter wonderland theme. My baby's name is Winter Faith. And so it is WYNTER. So I wanted a whole winter theme. So like pink and gray, as you can see, is her theme. Those are her colors. They've been her colors. So, you know, we kind of stuck with that. My third trimester was probably, I work in retail. So my third trimester was pretty like rough because she was born January 16th. So as you can imagine, I'm going in my 9th month. And I'm working in retail, and it's Christmas time, and it's busy. So, and we stayed open late. So I was always on my feet. I was always working. My feet were huge. But, you know, I just figured I have to do what I have to do. So I didn't really think much of it. I just got up and went to work, because that's what you do when you're a working mom. So my feet were swollen. My tummy was getting bigger. But I wasn't huge, but my tummy was big, and I was waddling around the place, and, you know, I guess I just took everything day by day, and I think we just did a good job with not just trying to rush into everything. We bought all her stuff day by day. I did get on WIC. I had pregnancy Medicaid, and I did get on WIC, and I want especially young moms to know there are resources out there for you. We didn't even know about pregnancy Medicaid, and so when we went to the WIC office, a young lady told us about it. So pregnancy Medicaid is basically when when Medicaid pays for your entire pregnancy. If you're within a certain you make a certain amount, they pay for the entire thing. And it was just a blessing because I never had to come out of pocket for anything. I got WIC, so of course I got groceries, and now I get her formula. And you know, I don't want people to look down on public assistance. Like, sometimes it really is there to help, especially if you're a young mother or you're a new mom and you're overwhelming, and things do get expensive. So I would definitely suggest, if you are watching this and you kind of just need some help, please reach out, get your public assistance, ask questions, do your research. They do have pregnancy Medicaid out there for you if you qualify. If you qualify for pregnancy Medicaid, you automatically qualify for WIC. So that's two things that you get, and then you're barely coming out of pocket. Granted, I did have health insurance. It all was in conjunction with one another. So I just think that it was awesome. it was a blessing that that young lady at the office told me about that. So I did have a WIC. So I do get assistance for her formula, and that's definitely helpful, especially because if you knew how much formula was. A lot of people ask me if I breastfed. I did not breastfeed, and I get a lot of backlash for it. It just wasn't for me. It personally, I don't knock anybody who breastfeeds. If that is what you want to do, if that is what you do, I think that is awesome for you. I think the main thing about being a mother is doing what works for you and your child. For me, I wasn't comfortable with breastfeeding, and I was told all these things like, oh, you're closer to your child. My mom didn't breastfeed me. I'm very close with my mother. They say it makes you smarter. I graduated from college. I had a decent GPA. I don't think that the where your milk comes from makes a big difference. I think if that is what you choose to do, great. Like, I'm all for mothers doing it for the kids. I'm not even mad at it. It just wasn't for me. And a lot of people were disappointed that I didn't breastfeed. They were asking questions about why I didn't breastfeed. And I just think it's a personal decision, and you really don't have to explain yourself to anybody. If you choose not to breastfeed, or if you choose to breastfeed, that is your decision. I didn't. I do formula feed, and my baby is just as happy, just as needy, just as everything she needs to be. Everything that a baby is, she is. I don't think it makes a huge difference. That's just my preference. So I did get the WIC so that I could get formula and stuff for her. But like I said, if that is a choice that anybody chooses to make, I'm all for it. It was not a choice for me. So I will not sit here and sugarcoat with you anything when it comes to pregnancy. My feet were swollen. I gained about 35 to 40 pounds, which was, they said it was average, but it was big for me. So I gained about 35 to 40 pounds. My nose did get bigger. My ankles were always swollen. My back hurt. You know, I think what I want my audience to understand is that everything's not always perfect. But pregnancy is so beautiful. But I did have some struggles. I was very emotional when I was pregnant. I did cry over a sandwich one time. Sometimes they say that you just cry over random, ridiculous things. I did. I was at Steak and Shake, and I usually get my single steak and cheese with everything on it, and they didn't put everything on it, and I was so upset. Like, for me, the world was ending at that very moment, and I cried because I was so upset that they didn't put all my stuff on my sandwich, and I'm pregnant, and I'm hungry. So that happens. Like, if you're pregnant and you just find yourself randomly crying, I don't know how many times I randomly cried the entire time I was pregnant. I probably was a nervous wreck. Whatever. But that's the reality of it. That is what it is. And that's the beautiful part about pregnancy, is that it is raw and it is real. And you go through things and you mentally have to prepare yourself. And I will say, I think that the mother always is the one to really jump into her motherly mode first, because we carry the child for 9 months. So we take care of the baby from day one. And we have to make sure. And I am lucky, and I give it up to single mothers who are just trying to make it work. I am blessed that my significant other is involved in my daughter's life. He's been involved from day one. From the moment I found out up until now, he's very involved. And I do appreciate that. And I do think that if you do have a significant other, they're going through changes too. And it can be frustrating, and it does challenge your relationship. But I do think that you have to be understanding that this is a change that both of you guys are going through. And what we learned was that it is a change that we're both going through, and we're both just trying to figure it out as a team. And I think teamwork is important. So I am blessed in the sense that I have someone who is not only involved in her life, but involved in my life, and we're doing it as a team. So I'll get into the whole how she came into the world. It was a cold night. No, I'm joking. But it was a cold night. January 15th. So the week before, I had had some really bad lower back pain, things like that. They usually say that's kind of the first sign. For a long time, I was not dilated. Um, my cervix was pretty high. It was still hard, all that stuff. So then, luckily, she the week before she was born, that Wednesday, I had some problems and I was feeling pain. So I thought I was going into labor that day, but it turned out I was only getting 1 centimeter dilated, but I still wasn't ready quite yet. Because as you know, they don't check you into the hospital until you're like 3, 4 centimeters dilated. So I was only 1 centimeter. And, I went through my everyday life. At this point, I was on maternity leave from my job. I took maternity leave. I took a maternity leave a week earlier than her due date, just so I can clean up and get ready for her arrival and kind of rest. I had just came out of working retail during the holiday season, as you can imagine. It's very tiring. So I kind of just wanted to rest, have a moment to myself, get things together, kind of gear myself up for my new life, basically. And so I had dilated, and then, I went through the weekend and I was fine. And then Monday, I was fine. I had ran errands. I was walking around. I didn't feel any different than I normally did. This is the Monday, the 15th, before she was born. I didn't feel any different. I felt normal. And then, all of a sudden, that night, I made myself something to eat. And, I went to bed. And I woke up about 1 in the morning. And it was funny because my mom walked in there to check on me, and I had actually woke up and I said, I'm feeling some pain. But I thought it was what I felt the other day. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think it was that serious, whatever. And then I was just like, I kept feeling the pain, and I thought maybe my mind was playing tricks on me because I was so anxious for her to come. I was ready. After a while, towards the end of your pregnancy, not only are you tired of being pregnant, but you're ready to meet this little person who's in your tummy. And she moved around so much, and she was just very active in my stomach. So I really just was like, I want to meet her. Like, I wanted to see her face. I want to know who she is. I want to just start this whole thing. So, Mama went to my room, and I was feeling pain, and, I just was like, okay. So then, I had a doctor's appointment on that Tuesday at 8 a.m. So I was just like, I'm just going to wait it out, and hopefully, it'll be okay. So then, as time went on, the pain increased. So, and I was like, I'm going to have a natural birth. I'm not going to take any epidurals. I'm going to be a strong woman and not, okay. So, then my mom started to time how often I was getting my contractions. So then they started being times. So they were 9 minutes apart, then they were 6 minutes apart. So at that point, we had called my boyfriend and to tell him that he needed to come. And we called the nurse's line, and we told them how far everything was, and they were just like, oh, she needs to go to the doctor. So at that point, I'm just like, okay, so is this really happening? Because the week before, it was kind of like, So then now it's just like, oh my God. He came over, and we're just sitting there, and then they're like, you need to go to the doctor. So, I didn't rush. I played calm. My water never broke. So I didn't have the whole, my water broke in the middle of the grocery store, my water broke in my bed, or anything like that. No plug dropped. My water didn't break. None of that. I ended up I took a shower. My bag was already packed. I took a shower. But when I got out the shower, them pains were like hitting me hard. I thought I was going to pass out, and I like started crying because I'm just like, oh my God, like this is it. This is real life. I'm in it. Like, this is what they talk about. This is game time. Like, I felt like, I was about to be in the play, like not even the playoffs, the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, I need to gear up. So, I put on everything. It was a struggle. Got to the car. We got to the hospital, and I got to the hospital, and they're just like, oh, you're 4 centimeters. No, I was 3 or 4. I was 3, and they were waiting for me to get to 4. So I sat there. Mind you, in my mind, I'm thinking I'm not getting any drugs. There was a point in time where I didn't take it seriously, and I was laying with my mom, and I was like, I'm okay. It's no big deal. And then, like, this hard contraction came, and I, like, grabbed her arm so hard, and she was like, oh, yeah, you're having contractions. I'm like, oh, my God. So, I'll be honest, contractions hurt. very bad. And this is not to scare you or anything. No one can really explain to you what it is until you go through it. But oh my God, those are serious. And women are we're like superhumans to be able to even take that. And the ones that can do it natural, more power to you. My mom did it natural. I was trying to be on that train, but I couldn't do it. So they asked me if I wanted epidural, and I said no, trying to be cute. And then it started to hurt to the point where, you know, you can't lay down, you can't rest. They're coming. And it's constant, and it's just like, oh my God. And you're looking over and everybody's asleep, and you're just sitting there like, they checked me in. I got in my, did I get my labor room? They put me in my labor room. It was a beautiful room. I was at Cobb Wellstar. Great staff, great people. And, I think I went through a couple more contractions. And, I quietly asked the nurse, so how does the epidural work? Because we need to get that in. Because they put drugs in my IV, and I thought I could live with that. But whatever drugs they put in only lasted like 30 minutes, and then I was on hell again. So I had asked them, how does it work? She kind of explained it to me. And I was trying to be discreet because to them, to my mom, my boyfriend, I was supposed to be going natural. So I was like, I don't want anybody to know that I'm like punking out right now. Like, I can't handle this. So then it ended up being, they were like, what? You're getting an epidural? And I was like, yeah, guys. So they gave me the epidural. They say there's this long needle. I didn't even look. I just wanted to relieve the pain I was feeling. So they put the epidural in. They made me crouch down on a pillow, and while I was doing this, I was having a contraction as they were giving me the epidural. So at that point, I can't even explain it, and I'm sure you can't even imagine how I felt at that time. But I just kept telling myself, I know this is going to be over, because I know that this is about to kick in, and I'm going to be okay. Once I got the epidural, couldn't feel the bottom half of my body. I was like on a cloud. I was like, hey guys, I'm texting. I'm calling people like, oh, I'm in labor right now, you know, just waiting. And so at this point, it is Tuesday, January 16th. And I'm just waiting. And they keep checking me. And my blood pressure was fine and everything. The baby was fine. And we were good. And they said I was 8 centimeters, so I knew I was getting closer and closer. And then they said 9 centimeters, and then I was 9.5. So at 9.5 centimeters, I'm not sure if it was 9 or when I finally I sat at 9 centimeters for a while. 9.5. I sat there for a while. And then they finally came in. I was like I think I was at 10 centimeters. At some point in that time, they broke my water. And then all of a sudden, all these people start rushing in. My doctor comes in. They're putting the everything up. I don't know if they're called stirrups. I don't know what they're called. But they're putting everything up. And all of a sudden, I'm just like, oh, my God, it's happening. And I started crying because I'm just like, I'm about to meet my daughter. And everything happened so fast. And then I just remember I pushed. It took me less than 30 minutes to push her out. And, my mom was there. She had the camera going. She got some good footage. My boyfriend was there. It was a beautiful moment. And then I finally did my last push, and I just heard her cry. They put her on my chest, and then they took her away to make sure she was okay. And I was just bawling because I couldn't even, wow. And when I think about it, I'm just like, I did that. I actually did that. And it was just, it's an amazing, unexplainable feeling. It's an amazing, unexplainable experience. And, it's emotional. And the love that I have for my daughter is a different kind of love. And I've been told that a mother's love is just different. And it really is. I carried you. You heard my heartbeat. I brought you into the world, essentially. And, I was proud of myself. It's a very prideful moment because you're just like, I did it, and all the fear and the anxiety and everything that you're going to feel as a mom, it goes away when you see their face. I feel like I'm going to cry, but I'm not going to cry. It's just so beautiful. And, I'm blessed that God gave me the opportunity to be able to be a mom. And he blessed me with my daughter, and she means the world to me. And, you know, I just want to make sure at the end of the day that I do right by her and that she's okay. And I always feel like God gave her to me for a reason. And so, sorry, I told myself I wouldn't cry. I just, you know, people don't understand. And now being a mom, is it hard? Yeah, I'm a working mom, and it's tough. And it's overwhelming sometimes, but then you look at their face, and it doesn't even matter. You'll make the world stop for them if you can. It's just none other, and they're so innocent, and they just want to love you, and they just need you, you know. And I have so much respect for mothers in general, especially my own mom, because we go through that. You know, she did it, and I have to do it, and my daughter will do it. So, you know, I know this video is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up. But I really wanted to make this video to let you guys, well, want to kind of share my experiences with you guys. And I also forgot to add in that, you know, at the time, they thought that they kept saying my blood pressure kept going up as I was pregnant. So they kept saying that I had preeclampsia. If you don't know what that is, I really suggest you to kind of look it up just to do your homework. But they kept saying that I had preeclampsia because my blood pressure kept spiking really high. And so once, you know, they kept monitoring that. I did have to go to a specialist in the beginning. She was really small. When she was born, she was 6 pounds, 5 ounces. But in the beginning, she was pretty small for her size. So I did have to go to a specialist, but everything ended up okay. But they always watch my blood pressure pretty closely. So I had to cut out a lot of salty foods and things in that nature. But they thought that she was going to be born early because they kept saying that my blood pressure and preeclampsia and whatever. And when they told me that, I definitely cried in the doctor's office because I was just like, I just want her to be okay. You know, I never even met her, and I just knew I just want my baby to be okay. So, I thought I'd add that in there just in case any of you mothers watching have any complications. Like, sometimes they say you have complications and everything ends up being okay. So you got to just trust in God and kind of do your part and just make sure that you're doing what you need to do. Like I just said, this video is getting long, so I think I'm going to wrap up here. My point of this video was to share my experiences, share everything, and to kind of just let you guys kind of just hear a realistic view. I know as far as weight, I'm still trying to get back to my normal weight after I had her. You know, I was still kind of big. My body was still, you know, just trying to get used to, at this point, not having a person in there anymore. And I did get back on birth control, so I am starting. I'm just now, after having her in January, I'm just now kind of starting to feel like myself and look like myself. My skin broke out really bad when I was pregnant, and I got very hairy. So now my skin is getting back to normal. My breakouts are minimal. I do laser hair, so I started doing that again, so I don't have any hair anymore. You know, I'm starting to kind of slim down. I'm not as slim as I want to be. I still have some work to do to get back to my goal weight, but I am working on that. And I will say that, you know, I want to leave you guys and whoever is going through it. One, you're not alone. Motherhood is tough. It's overwhelming. It is a change, and I get it. Also, I also want you guys to know that it's not perfect. You know, I think it's great when celebrities have babies and then come out 2 weeks later looking the same, but that's not realistic to me. You know, for an everyday girl like me, I didn't bounce back. Some people snap back really fast. Like Kevin Hart's wife. I mean, more power to her. She did an amazing snapback. If you sit there and compare yourself to celebrities who have money and all these things to make it easier for them, then you're setting yourself up for, you know, disappointment. I'm going to be real. Realistically, I'm still working to lose my weight. Realistically, being a mother is rewarding. but it is tiring. It is hard. It is love. It is compassion. It's a lot of different things. And I just want you guys to know that what you see on social media and all those pictures and everybody being all perfect and lovey-dovey and all this stuff with their baby is not always what it really is. I luckily didn't go through postpartum depression. Some women do go. I know women, especially my age, who have gone through postpartum depression. It's a real thing. Or even depression in general, because it's so much changing at one time. So I just want to just let you guys know, hang in there. You're not alone. If you guys have any questions or concerns or anything, message me, comment down below, anything. You know, I'm definitely here. And I hope this video kind of gave you an idea. I hope it didn't scare you, but I hope it made you feel content in the sense that you know that it's not just you, you're not alone, and that it's not all berries and flowers and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat pictures and stuff. Like, it's real hard work, it's real life, and it's a job. And you know, I love Winter. I love her to death, and I wouldn't trade her. And so that's all I have. So I definitely hope that you guys liked my video. I am back on YouTube, so I just wanted to kind of come back on YouTube with my pregnancy story with a bang. Like, this is why I've been gone, and I'm back. So I'm back as Amber Marie Mack, and I hope you guys subscribe, like, follow my my website, or join my website, Sincerely Amber Marie Mack. Follow my my social media, Instagram, Amber M Mack _, and Twitter is also Amber M Mack _. So yeah, so I'm back. So we about to do this. We're about to do this for real now. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. We got makeup tutorials coming. We got reviews. I have so many things in store, and she's my motivation. So why not? Thanks, guys. See you later.